what are some of the signs that your franchisee is indeed commitment phobic? First, he fears failure. He's easily discouraged and oftentimes brings up the past. He's got an inflated ego. He cannot handle opposition or competition. We're in a competitive world. If we can't handle competition, the ego and the arrogance isn't going to help us get over that. We need to be comfortable going up against the opposition and that competition and showing how our business, our product, our service is better, faster, quicker than our competitors. 3, our franchisee, she lacks resilience. She's not able to bounce back from failure or rejection. She made that sales call and got kicked in the stomach, and for the next 3 days, she's reeling and unable to get back on that horse. That's 3 days lost because of that inability to emotionally regroup and step right back into that batter's box and do what needs to be done. Another sign of someone who is commitment phobic is they lack self-discipline. They're easily swayed and tempted by this cool new marketing idea, or adding that other little product thing, or going over here and doing this thing that you told them as a franchisor didn't work, and they need to focus on the plans that you have gave them, that they're proven, they're tried, they just need to embrace them. Instead, they lack the self-discipline and they're easily going after shiny objects. They lack self-control. They're unable to subdue their impulses and their desires. They buy that massive printing machine when they don't need it. They lease a car rather than buy the car or buy something used. They are unable to control their mouths, their emotions, their money, etc. They lack focus. They're indecisive and frequently change their mind. To you, it might look like they're fickle, and it's frustrating, not just for you, but for them, because we know when we stay on course, we win. They lack loyalty. Oftentimes, they're only interested in their own needs, and frequently those needs are immediate. They're not able to delay gratification, and it's all about them versus the whole of the franchise organization. They lack courage. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. They just can't take initiative. They're dealing in fear of the unknown and change and competition, and they're not able to step up to it, take initiative when they know they need to. And they're never satisfied. They have these massive expectations and demands of you as a franchisor, and they're unable to ever feel satiated. And of course, we look at that in this real world, what might be causing all of these issues. But this is just a list of what will let you know what, this is not a training issue. This is not a support issue. This is not a technology issue. This is not, I need to ramp up the marketing for my franchisee issue. This might, in fact, be a commitment issue. And it is a universal issue that we are seeing. If we address it straight on and address that weak muscle and help them build their commitment muscle, we will get the results without pouring dollars into additional services and support systems, etc. So, Dr. Goldman has 3 primary questions, and we use those same questions in our tool to determine what level of commitment a prospective franchisee or franchisee has. 1, I readily make sacrifices to meet a larger organizational goal. Does your franchisee do that? Do they make temporary sacrifices because it's what's good for all of us as a franchise system? Do they find a sense of purpose in a larger mission? Do they even know what your mission is? Or are they more concerned about something else, including mostly themselves? I use the group's core values in making decisions and clarifying choices. Are they making decisions? Are they pulled off course? Are they going into procrastination because they simply are not aligned with your core values, or your values are not clearly defined for them to know how to make wise day-to-day choices that line up with those values? We'll come back to this in just a moment, but let's look at what might have caused some of these things. Trophies without winning. This is a known, this has been going on for a while, where trophies for, a couple generations now have been given out without any form of self-discipline, without any form of effort on the part of the participant, and without even having to win. This causes neurological issues where that muscle of commitment, that muscle of focus, that muscle of perseverance never gets developed. It doesn't know how to go after a goal. It doesn't know what to do to get there. And even if it did, it is so weak, it's not capable of going after that particular outcome. Critiquing someone is now politically incorrect, whether it's in our schools, whether it's out in, at the country club, and even within our franchisor franchisee relationship. We have to be cautious today to not step on any sensitive toes, and yet to get stronger, to build that muscle of commitment. We need feedback. We need to know we're off course. We need to know the behaviors, the actions, the thought processes, the words that need to be executed on a day-to-day basis to get where we want to go. So this political correctness is also causing some challenges for our prospective franchisee and our current franchisees. This instant gratification and shortcuts being applauded is also contributing to these issues. With the internet and everything being at our fingertips instantaneously, Amazon delivering our packages and our groceries within hours to our door, everything is faster today. There are 1,000 different shortcuts to get where we want to go. So we are thinking shortcuts. We are thinking fast. And when things take too long, it creates distress within us, or what we perceive to be too long. So the attention span is smaller, but worse, our ability to hang in there is getting more difficult for us. Everything is perfect and fabulous, thus there's no need for improvement or effort. We've been taught that we're perfect just the way we are. Marketing in particular has led us to believe that our bodies are perfect, although we're 500 pounds, that our financial situation is perfect, even though we can't pay the bills. So we're taught that we're perfect and fabulous just the way we are. And that creates a, why should I change it, right? I'm perfect and fabulous just like I am. It's not surprising then that a non-committalness is indeed a norm. In fact, many actually experience mental distress and emotional difficulty when faced with situations that require dedication to a long-term goal. This part of our brain, this muscle of commitment, is actually put under serious duress, where cortisol and adrenaline pumps out anytime we see that this is something that's going to take a long time, that this is something that requires more than a click, or more than a phone call, or more than a I wanna. It requires a day-to-day commitment over a long period of time to build a successful business. And oftentimes that stuff is not fun that we have to do. So this is what we call commitment phobic, where literally the brain of that individual is distressed and anxious and worried and in a place of hypervigilance simply by looking at a long-term goal and not being able to see that they can do it. It creates this anxiety within them. So commitment is a virtue. It's a character attribute. Commitment is a state of being bound to a particular course of action, no matter what. Commitment starts with a choice. It's a decision that I make, and it's sustained by my dedication, my self-discipline, and my perseverance, no matter what. Commitment is active. It is expressed and realized in our thoughts and actions. It's not just words. It requires us to take certain actions to execute on commitment. Commitment produces perseverance. When we decide on a course of action and we see it worthwhile and we know that it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it, it creates a level of tenacity and resilience and perseverance that we all need for anything in our life that isn't instantaneous, whether that's losing weight, building an empire, hanging into a marriage that's difficult, whatever it is, this perseverance first starts with a conscious decision to make a commitment. A franchisee that's easily discouraged, that can't handle any kind of competition, can't handle any opposition, or finds it difficult to bounce back from rejection or failure, is oftentimes a franchisee that has commitment issues. No, he's not pessimistic. No, he's not lazy. No, it's not that he doesn't know what to do. He has commitment phobia. And this is a common thing that we're seeing in the world today that we need to address. Commitment produces satisfaction. Commitment is more than just an obligation to my franchisor, to my customers, to a path that I am on. It's giving of ourselves to a purpose that we find worthy of the gift of our time, of the gift of our commitment, of the gift of our talent. It's something that we have decided that we can contribute because it makes sense. The purpose makes sense. Like other forms of giving of our time, money, talent, commitment produces some of life's greatest emotional satisfaction and also financial satisfactions and rewards. Things that we commit to that are hard, that require us to do day in and day out what may not be exciting or fun or give us a whole lot of, pats on our back, ultimately are the things that give us neurologically, emotionally, spiritually, the greatest satisfaction. I study neuroscience. In fact, I teach neuroscience at a naturopathic medical school. And if I could tell you the chemicals that release from this idea of making a commitment and giving the gift of our time, talent, and money to something, and the emotional joy and satisfaction that comes from it, and the chemical release, it is a powerful, powerful thing. Bottom line, commitment produces satisfaction. Are your franchisees satisfied? Do they feel that satisfaction in the business, or are they pointing fingers at you? If they're pointing fingers at you or the world or the competitor or et cetera, likely this is someone who has a commitment issues, commitment phobic, that doesn't have the ability to feel this level of satisfaction. So he's looking for satisfaction for outside of himself, and frequently that's back at you as a franchisor or as a franchise broker.